Hello, everyone. Welcome to the brand new episode of Smash Through. I'm your host, Spencer. I'm joined by my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who beat me probably the last 25 times we've played a game of Smash, Macklin.
How's it going?
What's it like to be undefeatable?
It's pretty great. Pretty great.
Yeah. We're going to insert like a segment here about Smash World Tour and stuff, but I talked about it. It was actually one of the Patreon questions in my Magic the Gathering podcast was, can we get Spencer's opinion on this? So I've already actually given my opinion on the whole Panda, Nintendo, Smash World Tour situation, Matt, but just really quickly, like, I would love from a person who's played on multiple Pro Tours of Magic the Gathering, your perspective of what happened and how, I don't know, how, like, players should feel.
Well, I think players should be upset, obviously, right? Like, we went from having multiple great circuits to 0 great circuits in the last couple days. As far as where their anger should be directed, it's a little less clear to me than I think that it is to other people. And I think that, in my honest opinion, I think that people are jumping to conclusions that they don't necessarily have any reason to jump to. But
yeah, I said this on CC, but like, if you're a Magic player listening to this podcast because like you're a fan of the network and stuff, just know how good you have it in Magic. Like, this just wouldn't happen in Magic. Like they.
I think honestly that's just a Nintendo thing though. Like this wouldn't happen in any other under any other platform.
It's just wild to me that like the number of people that like complain about their own situation. When I look at like the Smash community, just like pulls through the clutches of death so many times over and over again. Like, and I'm sure it's to Nintendo's annoyance. I'm sure Nintendo's like, how are they still around? Like we've done so much to kill this. But,
speaking of which, did you catch Mango's winner's speech at the main stage?
No.
Basically, he was like, melee players are like cockroaches. There's no way that they can kill us. We're just gonna keep coming back.
It's wild, man. It's wild. And I think that the community, the melee community, and the Smash community in general, really speaks to the always improving mentality that we like to preach. For me, I'll go first. It's kind of the point of this show. We want to be getting better all the time. Every time we jump on the mic for this show, and I'm gonna say that I think I've improved the most at Smash that I've ever improved at Smash in a month since the last time we recorded. I've been focusing on my two mains. I play almost entirely Greninja and Pokemon Trainer now. And when I'm not doing it for like specific reasons. Like I'm not doing it because I want to understand how a certain movement happens from a particular type of character, and getting my hands on that character can sometimes help. Or like I'm specifically playing Smash to have fun and not as like part of the me improving and getting ready to go to tournaments and stuff. So, and I think of the shift that this podcast has brought to me in like, actually, I think the real thing that happened was I was listening to Tweet Talks, and they talked about how picking a main is about picking the character that's going to make you want to put in the work the most. And it has been clear that is Greninja and PT for me, and I've stuck to it. So
nice.
Yeah. Any thoughts on my improvements, Matt, or things that you've seen that I could be doing better or even more?
Yeah, I mean, I think that despite our absurd little streak going on here, I think that every game has been very competitive, and I can see your improvements more than ever. So yeah, and I do think that one thing I really like about your Greninja, especially, is that I think that you're trying to do the good things. Like I feel like with Wolf, a lot of the times you were like, oh, these are the easy things that are like getting me kills. Whereas with Greninja, you're not really taking the shortcuts. Like you're actually trying to work on the things that are good for Greninja.
Yeah, I think that goes to what I was saying about like that episode of Tweet Talks. It's like, you know what? Like, yeah, it sucks having to do like fair kills and like, these awkward setups and stuff like that. But I love playing Greninja, and like that's just not how I ever felt about Wolf. And it is not just that I'm like. What's so funny is that it's not just that I'm better at Greninja. It's like it makes me play more Smash and like be excited to play Smash in like a real way. And I think that that's one of the importance of picking a main in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So my always improving moment this week is actually kind of tied into what you're saying here, and I mean, kind of what we've been talking about the whole time as far as picking a main. Basically, I think I've been subscribing to the sunk cost fallacy a lot with Zero Suit recently. Don't get me wrong, I still love Zero Suit, but I think that for where I'm gonna get in Smash, I've basically taken Zero Suit as far as I can. I think that she's just so much work for how much you actually get out of her. Like, not to say that how much work a character is should impact how much you want to play them, but I think that for what I'm looking for out of a character, Zero Suit's just not necessarily doing it for me, and I've been kind of riding on like both the fact that I think that she's super hype, and also the fact that I've already put so much time into Zero Suit. And a lot of this was pre-nerfs, and I think that she's like a lot less cool now is one of my big problems with Zero Suit. But the other problem that I have is that the characters that I really enjoy playing are like the hardest characters in the game. Like Zero Suit and Joker are like the two characters that I really like, and they're both, you know, two of the hardest 3 or 4 characters in the entire game. And so I really didn't want to switch to Joker because I didn't want to have to start such a difficult character after I've put so much work into Zero Suit already. But I've been taking the Joker a lot more seriously lately, and it's been going pretty well. So
yeah, I honestly like think that you've had a similar. I haven't really know how to explain this other than like similar to me. You had not been like you like the other day when you were like, yeah, I've been in the lab with Joker. I was like, man, I don't know the last time you were in the effing lab. Like that's like, you know, back to old Matt Kling trying to improve. And it goes to show, man, like your spacing with your Jokers like better than your spacing with your Jokers ever been. And I think that sometimes, you know, obviously like there's players that it's a joke about, right? Like Tweak switches characters every 3 months or whatever. But I don't know, like I think that both of us focused on the things that we already liked in Smash, and it's paying off.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get some housekeeping out of the way really quickly. I'm going to announce that for the foreseeable future, I'm going to post a poll in the Discord, but I'm going to be doing weekly Smash, either weekly, it's probably going to be weekly Smash nights in the Discord where, you know, somebody will have an arena open and people will be able to play. So head on over to the Heezy Media Discord. We'll put a poll up so that people can do that. And additionally, this could change to the new system and the new Smash when it comes out, depending on how long this takes. But I'm going to give away at 1,000 subs a Switch and a copy of Smash to a subscriber on YouTube. So if you're listening to this on podcast form, head on over to the YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button. I want to get more people involved in the Smash community, and this is one of my ways to give back. So
awesome.
All right. So today's main topic it was originally going to be called "Everyone is Kazuya Mishima," but it is instead going to be called "It's Always Kazuya Ditto." And I want to preface this that I think 1, this joke is funny, but 2, I hate it. Like because every time something happens, Matt's like, "Oh, do you know that character is Kazuya? Oh, do you know that character is Kazuya?" And it's like, no, every character that has a 3-string combo is not Kazuya. But Matt, what do we mean by this? What are we talking about here?
So what I am referring to everybody as Kazuya has to do with how many interactions they need to win to take a stock. I think Kazuya averages about 2 interactions per stock.
Sure.
He has to win neutral twice. And I think that there are probably about half the cast that fall under that definition of Kazuya. They have, 0 to 60 or 0 to 80% strings, and then they kill at 60 or 80.
So give me the characters that you would classify as Kazuya Mishima.
Oh man, how much time do we have?
I don't get me. This is you, man. This is I gave you space in the show notes for it. It's up to you to fill the time.
Characters that are Kazuya. Mario is Kazuya, and I think this one's not even me. This is actually how this started. I was watching coverage of the Ludwig Invitational, and Kurama was popping off, and they're like, "Wow, Mario's actually just Kazuya Mishima," and this really resonated with me. And then I started thinking about all the other characters that are basically Kazuya in this way. I would say Mario, Donkey Kong,
I'm gonna
Yoshi,
lose it. I'm gonna lose it so bad on this spot.
Fox, Pikachu, Luigi. Luigi is definitely Kazuya. Like, he actually has 0 to deaths, all of it. Let's see. Peach, basically Kazuya. Bowser, Kazuya. Ice Climbers is definitely Kazuya. Sheik is probably not, only because she doesn't really have reliable kill setups. Dr. Mario, definitely Kazuya. Falco, definitely Kazuya. Ganondorf is Kazuya. Roy is Kazuya. Zero Suit can be Kazuya, but
we don't have to go through the actual whole roster. I think people get the point.
Yeah, you get the idea. Rob is Kazuya.
So they need 0 to death combos. They need X number of interactions in neutral to be considered. I
wouldn't even say 0 to death combos are the whole thing either, right? Because like Kazuya, if you watch top Kazuya play, like it's rarely actually a true 0 to death. Like sometimes, but like.
All right, we gotta debate. So one, I gotta pull up the roster too while we're talking. Like I just actually have to like pull up the ultimate roster because I'm gonna lose my mind.
I think that Kazuya gains a lot of resentment for players because he's flashier, right? Like it looks like it's a lot less effort.
It looks like it looks like a one-player game while it's happening.
Sure, but like I could say the same thing about Falco, right? Or any of these other characters.
Here's the thing. So first of all, I want to start on the Donkey Kong comment. Come on.
I've taken so many stocks with Donkey Kong in 2 interactions. You win neutral twice, and that's it.
Donkey Kong and Gavin are Kazuya Mishima. Like it is as lazy as calling, like, I don't know. It's like as lazy as saying that Smash is just a game of sword characters.
I mean, half the cast are sword characters, so.
And it's lazy to say it. Is Sephiroth a swordie?
Yeah, of course he is.
Oh my gosh.
I think that it's a lot more debatable on like Min Min than Sephiroth.
It was really funny because I think we were literally playing Mario versus Kazuya, and you, I'm like, the Kazuya Ditto. I was like, that's the name of the podcast. It's always a Kazuya Ditto, and some of it's funny, right? Like some Mario cutscenes, they definitely feel and look like a Kazuya cutscene. I think that the difference is that it looks like a cutscene. Like when you're in a Kazuya combo, it looks like I could literally put down my controller and nothing would change.
But that's not true on some level, right? Because you can see them DIing out of it or like SDIing out of the combos.
I'm just saying, like,
I think that it might feel more like that only because they do like the 3-dimensional aspect that kind of gives it like a cutscene vibe.
I agree. I think the visuals are a huge problem with Kazuya. And it's funny because people are like, that makes him so hype. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It makes it worse.
I think you are definitely in the minority on not liking to watch Kazuya. I think not wanting to play against Kazuya is a pretty common thing, but like watching Kazuya is hype.
Dude, the thing is like Palutena is like a really good example where like those Nair loops aren't fun to watch. Like they're just it's ridiculous. You're like, all right, take 40. Like
I'm not disagreeing with you in some ways, like especially for something as basic as Palutena and Nair loops, right? Like I think that like for that or like Falco up tilt strings or whatever, we could just like skip it and say, okay, I'm at 70. Great. Let's go.
Well, it's funny, right? Because like obviously there are moments where some of it's cool, right? I think about the Esam pop off with Pikachu on that stock that he beat Leo. That was so hype.
The 0 to death where he caught him DIing
that was so hype.
Right.
So, like, I'm glad that exists. Like, it was a cool part of Smash. But I don't know that anytime somebody's bear looped anyone else in the history with Pikachu, I've been like, oh, that was hype as can be.
Well, I think that a lot of it too. That's one of the things that makes Kazuya so hype, right? Is that he's never out of it. Like, if you watch a game of Kazuya and the Kazuya is down 2 stocks, you're like, okay, well, anything could happen here though. And I think that's really what made that set between MKLeo and ESAM so hype, is that ESAM was down 2 stocks, especially after the SD.
Sure, that's fair. Are you willing to budge on your position that half the cast is Kazuya, or do you actually believe that?
I mean, I think that the things that people have a problem with Kazuya about
is true
of
half
half the cast. Yes, that's really where I'm going with this.
Do you think that it is more problematic with Kazuya because it is one of the focal points of his game? Like,
I think that
the only way to have a good Kazuya is to have this.
No, I think that
it's like why I don't like
here's the actual problem. Here's the actual problem with Kazuya. His like crouch run thing is nonsense. That is so good. Some
people might not know this because I didn't know this 2 months ago.
So basically, Kazuya has intangibility as long as he's getting up from a crouch, and you can like kind of do like this weird like crouch thing across the stage and have like very few frames where you're vulnerable.
Such nonsense. It's nonsense.
Yeah. So like I said, I do think that Kazuya has some things that are just not pleasant to play against, like that, and like his smash attacks having super armor. But I think that one of the big things that people focus on with Kazuya a little too much that makes it potentially not enjoyable for them is just how long the combos take. Like it's more like with Falco, you see a lot more inputs happening, right? And it's kind of like, okay, well, he's like spinning and like then he's doing this, and then it's this combo or this hit. Whereas like Kazuya is like every move has like 4 seconds of hit stun.
Yeah.
So
I think like I'm gonna just name some characters, and I'm gonna ask you for a percentage that it is a Kazuya Mishima Ditto. Okay.
Okay.
Kazuya Luigi.
That's 100% a Kazuya Ditto.
Right? I agree. I think 100% agreement. That is a Kazuya Ditto. Like factually, they're the same character. They're not even different. Okay. Mario Kazuya.
Yeah, that's a Ditto.
100% a Ditto.
100% Ditto. Yes.
Okay. Diddy Kong Kazuya.
I give that one an 80% Ditto.
Okay. I'm trying to think of people that you mentioned. Let's go with Donkey Kong Kazuya.
I give that one probably an 80% again.
Oh my gosh, that's so high. All right. Kirby Kazuya.
That one's not a Kazuya Ditto, really.
All right, okay. I'm checking, man.
Yeah,
just seeing where the line is. Trying to find the line. Pikachu Kazuya.
That's a 90% Ditto.
90%. Okay. Where does that put Fox Kazuya?
Fox is 100%. That's just Kazuya.
It's just Luigi? Wait, is there no like 98% here?
No.
Okay. Mario Luigi.
Yeah, I mean, if these characters are Kazuya, it's a Ditto.
That is just a Kazuya Ditto? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Wow. Roy Kazuya?
80%.
We have Roy Kazuya as the same.
Sometimes Roy will play neutral, especially in that matchup. He probably plays neutral quite a lot.
Okay.
But actually, to this point of this particular matchup being in Kazuya Ditto, did you happen to catch the Riddles versus, or like any of the Riddles versus Colo sets?
I did not.
Basically 0 to deaths back and forth. Neither of them ever got at a disadvantage.
Okay. Speaking of never getting out of a disadvantage, Sonic Kazuya.
No, that one's not a Ditto at all. Sonic is in his own class of character. He's not Kazuya.
Okay. Steve Kazuya.
Steve and Kazuya is a Ditto. That's
like 100% a Ditto?
100% a Ditto, yeah.
So wild!
I mean, Steve is basically the same as Luigi. There's no way you can think that Kazuya and Luigi is a Ditto, but not think that Kazuya and Steve is a Ditto.
I just think 100% is so high. Like, if you were like, if you told me that Donkey Kong and Kazuya was 40% a Ditto, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. And then like, we're like 80% on Donkey Kong. I'm like, I don't know what this scale looks like. Like, I don't understand.
The scale is based on how many interactions it takes them.
Okay. Pyramithra Kazuya.
40.
Okay, so that's the lowest on the. Is that the bottom of the Kazuya Ditto scale?
Yeah, that's pretty low on the Kazuya Ditto for sure.
Okay. Well, you mentioned Sheik not really being it. Is she lower or higher than Pyramithra?
She's probably lower than maybe roughly the same. They kind of have the same thing going on, except for Pyramithra can actually kill when you turn to Pyra. So I would say that Sheik is probably a little lower, like maybe 30% Kazuya Ditto.
Okay.
She certainly does. She certainly has the cutscene combos. There's no way to deny that. Like you get hit by a Sheik that's any good, and you're just like there for 10 minutes getting hit until you're at 70%.
ZSS Kazuya.
I think that would be a lot more of a Kazuya Ditto pre-Nair nerf. Now that the Nair's not nerfed, Zero Suit's a lot more in the Sonic category than the Kazuya category.
Okay. Palu Kazuya.
50%. She doesn't really have the kills. Like,
Sure.
she has some kill setups, but nothing like substantial.
Okay. So the line is like Mario, Luigi, Fox, Kazuya. Like that. That's just a Ditto.
Those ones are all Dittos. Rob is also 100% Ditto.
Rob is 100% a Ditto.
0 deaths. 0 to deaths. How do you not consider Rob 100%?
I mean, that's just not how people play Rob. I just the reason that I say this for what it's worth is that I think I said it earlier in this podcast. It is that it is a required part of playing the character, like to get to
maybe. I mean, if for what it's worth, if you've started watching Riddle's newest sets, like in the last couple months or whatever, he's actually been using a lot more of the neutral tools of Kazuya. Like he's been getting kills with like straight up airs and things like that.
Give me PT Kazuya.
Well, that's not a Ditto.
Okay, Greninja Kazuya.
No, it's probably a.
From Squirrel,
35%.
2 Charizard is like
35%.
That's a I can see that being cut. Like if you use all 3 perfectly through the set. Greninja.
Well, even then though, it still ends up being 3 interactions, right? If you're switching, because there's no true combos between them, right?
So I assume Greninja, Sonic, and Joker are all closer to Sonic than Kazuya.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call Joker a Sonic, but he's certainly not a Kazuya. So
okay, so that's where the line is. There's Sonic on one side, Kazuya on the other, and everything.
You're right. Yeah, everybody else is on the scale somewhere.
So So is Jigglypuff closer to Kazuya or Jigglypuff? It's got to be Sonic, right?
Oh, I don't know.
It's
probably
the Sonic
not, though, right?
Kazuya
It's gotta be closer
scale.
to Kazuya because like you can definitely lose to 2 interactions from a Jigglypuff.
Sure. Okay. All right. And then you got people that are like dead in the middle, like the Pits. They're dead center. They're like it's like the.
Oh
Pit.
no! If anything, I would put them closer to the Sonic line. They have to win neutral like 17 times. I've never seen a Pit like just win in 2 neutral interactions.
Okay, we're learning so much right now, Matt. I need somebody in the comments to leave a GIF of the Sonic transforming into Kazuya through characters that Matt had higher and higher percentage. Like that's the GIF I need in the world. Here's the thing, man. I think the bit is funny. I don't even know how long it will take to play out. Like I can see myself laughing in 2 years. Like we're sitting in a major. We're watching, and then some new up-and-coming Pikachu back air loop somebody off of stage for all 3 stocks. And you look at me and be like, Kazuya, and I'll still giggle. Like, it'll still be funny. But the thing is that I'll never forget at Crown 2, walking up to that set, watching T. Was it T or was it... It was T, right? Playing Kazuya, and just literally not getting hit. Like, just JV freaking fouring somebody at a major in the last day. Like, what?
Yeah. It was pretty intense, too, because I don't even think Olimar's that good of a matchup for Kazuya, but he just had that person's number, and it was just not close.
Obliterated
he just literally nine-stocked him over 3 games.
I forgot that it was a 3-stock 3 times, and one of them was a JV4!
I wasn't, actually, but it was, close enough.
Well, because he took electric damage or something, right?
I'm pretty sure he got hit at some point, but it was not like a ton.
It was a 9 stock though, and it was. What's so funny is at the same tournament we're watching Kurama. Like we're seeing both these characters at their most Kazuya Mishima-ness. And it wasn't the same. It was like there is just something. I remember we were sitting there, and that was the moment that I was like, you know what, Matt, I might be on the band Kazuya train. I actually might jump on this bandwagon because I had never seen anything like it. I haven't watched as much Smash as some people, right? Like I've been watching Smash now for as long as Ultimate's been out, about that long. That was it. That was I think that the bit will be funny forever. However, the 58th time that this happens to me, where Akazuya is down 2 stocks against me, and then come back to reverse sweeps me, I'll probably break my controller. I'll just like lose it.
But again, that's not unique to Kazuya. I remember I was actually just watching Mario's stream the other day, and he's just playing against some Mario in Elite Smash, and he's like, he was like comfortably winning this game or whatever, and then it got to last stock, and he's like, "Oh, watch this guy just like Mario combo me, and I just died." And he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, I actually have to worry about this." And
so
it's like,
if I had finished the reverse 3 stock on you today with Ivysaur, it wouldn't have felt like it does with Kazuya though. Think of how
again,
sick
it depends on
Ivysaur...
how many neutral interactions you have to actually win, though, right? But like with Mario, it really is. It's like 2 neutral interactions, and that's it.
Yeah, that dash attack does need to be nerfed. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not even the dash attack that's the busted part for that. I mean, like dash attack does win neutral, but it's not even like his combo starter. Like it's like the up tilts, the down tilts, the up airs.
All right. So leave a comment. Let us know how many Kazuya Dittos you think there are, and tell us the percent. Like, what percentage of the cast is a Kazuya Ditto? How does the equation work up? If it's an 85% Ditto between Fox and somebody else, what is that actually in the grand scheme of all the permutations of Kazuya Dittos that are possible? That's gonna do it this month. All right. So last month we had a bet, Matt. And we have a bet every month. You won. It wasn't close, but it feels like we were lied to. So,
yeah. I mean, it definitely. He implied that he was going to play Joker a lot more than he did, but also he only went to one event, right? Which we basically knew was going to be the case.
Yeah.
So I feel like you took a sucker bet anyway.
Yeah. So last month, the number of matches that MKLeo loses with Joker this month, I thought he was going full Joker. He has in fact decided that he just is never going to lose to the Buzz, and he's only playing Joker versus the Buzz.
Did you see how good his Joker looked, though? I almost guarantee he wouldn't have lost the set if he played Joker the whole time.
He's throwing to keep it competitive. Like it does. Like you watch his Joker and you're like, what? Why do you play another character?
How could anybody ever beat this? Like I don't know. Why isn't he just doing? I actually watched an ESAM video of him watching Leo the first time he pulled out the Joker against the Buzz, and he's like, why isn't he just doing this to people? Like I don't understand. And if ESAM can say that, then I feel like I can confidently also have that same assessment.
I mean, I watched I watched this set and I was like, what?
Honestly, his gunplay looked even cleaner than back when he was playing Joker all the time too. It was crazy.
And it is probably because he only has to worry about this, just this specific thing. What's so funny is I can't imagine being the Buzz in this situation. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, if I switch characters, I'm still equally messed. Like, what am I supposed to do? So,
yeah, it's rough to beat Devuz for sure, especially given how many second places he's taken to Leo specifically, and now he's just like, okay, well, now I can just never beat him because he's going to go Joker against me.
I will never win a major that MK Leo is at. This is just, which is just true of most people, but like,
yeah,
the number of seconds that specifically. The Buzz has.
Most people, it's probably even an understatement, right? Like it was true for Spargo for like a long time.
Yeah. So our new bet isn't gonna happen. We wrote the show notes a couple days ago. Will Nintendo allow Smash World Tour to happen? The answer was technically yes. But
yeah, at least depending on your interpretation of events.
So, Matt, the new bet is how many more games will it take for Spencer to get a W this month?
Oh, that's such an interesting bet. I think that you should set the number if that's the bet.
I'm gonna put the number at 10.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense for me to take an over-under, right? Because if I take an under, I could just throw. So you have to just pick a number of games, and then if you make it, then you're right, and if you don't,
I get to pick the over/under and take the. I mean,
yes.
So
you're not taking an under. There's no under. There's no under. Yeah, you are taking the under.
I'm taking the under. Yes.
I'm
gonna say 11. Yeah.
Okay. So you got 11 games to beat me, basically, is where you're at.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you think?
Is it on the 12th game that I win, or is it after you? So after you lose 11, or after
if I lose 11 more in a row, you win.
Okay.
You think that it's gonna take me?
Bang that out this afternoon.
25 is like such a long streak. When we were like, last time it was like we went from like 1-5 to 1-3 to like 1-2. Like I was catching up. This is like an anomaly.
Yeah, it is though.
It's like, what is happening? Today, there was a game where I was like, how did I lose? Oh, it was the Incineroar game. I was like, I can't believe I lost that.
Yeah, that was. I mean, once I saw the stage, I knew it was going to be a rough one, and then you were playing exceptionally well too, like abusing the fact that Greninja's much faster than Incineroar and spacing all of your aerials perfectly. Dashback. Yeah. Not even just sick dashbacks, but like your fairs were just so well spaced the whole time. Like I just kept thinking you were going to land, and I was trying to hit you with the side B. You got hit by 0 side Bs, which is crazy because historically when we've played that matchup, I've probably hit you with like 25 side Bs a game.
Yeah. No, like at the beginning of the show, I was talking about like I've gotten so much better at Smash, like to the point where one of the things that like I really improved at is focusing on what this individual matchup and game would be about, and it hasn't mattered. Like, if anything, it's just elevated your game astronomically, and it's like, what is going on? So, all right, 11 it is. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. Don't forget to check out the Heezy Game Media Discord, where you can challenge Matt to a money match anytime you want. Like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget that we're looking for sponsors. So if you want to sponsor the podcast, let us know. Shoot us an email at smash3pod@gmail.com, and we'll see everybody next time with another episode of Smash Through.